If you believe there's an imminent possibility of some type of disaster scenario and your plan is to bug out, if the right circumstances occur, then your gear should be 100% ready 100% of the time. This trip is kind of a test of that philosophy. I try to do this a lot to keep my gear tuned up. It's always evolving. It's not a static state. So today's exercise is a short notice mock bug out, heading out into the desert. I'll be meeting up with one of my possible teammates at one of our predetermined locations. So this week I've been driving my truck, which I don't know if you guys can see behind me. So my pack and my rifle is in the truck. So I'm gonna grab my pack, my rifle, throw it in this rig. This is the vehicle of choice for this trip because we're going to be covering a lot of miles. We want the fuel capacity, and it's got a rooftop tent on top of it. So basically this is a mobile camp right here. As you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for very long, I never go anywhere without my bug out kit in my vehicle that I'm driving. So that just goes with me. If I change vehicles, I swap that out and throw it in the vehicle that I'm driving. The rest of this gear in here, that Eagle loadout bag, the box right there, the day pack, and my, up in the corner there, I don't know if you can see that, but up in the corner there, there's another duffel bag. All of that stuff just lives in my vehicle all the time. It's some additional kind of bug out gear. Normally I like to keep this as real as it gets, but I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to procure one of the last surviving venti non-fat lattes at a Starbucks on my way through town. So I met up with my teammate Todd Stone from Central Oregon Survival Network, and we're continuing the second leg of our mock bug out. Luckily, I was able to procure one of the last remaining 16-ounce iced non-fat lattes before civilization totally collapsed.
Which is absolutely important.
Which is absolutely important. So we met up at a location. We didn't film the location we met up at for obvious reasons because it's our meetup location. And now we're heading for the next phase of our trip, which is to our location where we'll have safety for a few days and be able to regroup and consider what action to take next. We're driving a route that is gravel virtually all the way from town to the general vicinity of the bug out location that we're heading to. See, and look at this. This is a great example of all the resources that are available around here. Some veal right there. That would feed us for a couple of days.
A whole lot of steak.
So we're driving these secondary gravel roads, and the reason why we're taking this route is because it's important for us to know routes like this that wouldn't likely be blockaded or jammed up with traffic or things like that, like state highways. So this area that we're going to, we can get to by traveling just within a few miles out of town. We're on secondary gravel roads through remote country like this. There will be a few ranches that we go by on the way out here, but we're in some of the lowest population density part of the state out here.
And it's kind of being, underneath the wire. So if you do have a vehicle, designated bug out vehicle, and it does look a little extreme, you can stay underneath, everybody seeing it by traveling the side roads.
Yeah, off the radar. All right, well, we've made it off of the kind of the main gravel roads, and now we're onto this, we're off the main gravel roads, we're on this secondary road system, and we're gonna start working our way back into a really, really remote section of country where we've actually identified there's some water sources and some resources in there, so we're thinking it's going to be a good spot to hole up for a few days. And this would be a place where we could hide out for a little while and maybe even make some trips back out and observe what was going on in the urban area till we made a determination whether or not it was safe to return. All right, well, we got to our bug out location for the purposes of this exercise. We're kind of tucked down here in a little valley. It's a good location to be out of sight. We've kind of got some terrain features all around us, and we've got actually some tree cover here.
We actually moved out before we're going to set our camp just to make sure that we get a good security all the way around 360 degrees before we actually set our camps up in this spot.
We spent a little bit of time on the way in. We did a lot of stopping and looking at the tracks on the road to kind of get an idea of the traffic patterns, and we're pretty comfortable with the fact that the roads that we followed in, or probably more accurately, the Jeep trails that we followed in, don't get much traffic and haven't in several weeks. So we feel pretty confident that we're tucked back here in a spot that we could lie relatively undetected for an extended period of time. The gear we have with us is basically our bug out gear, so we're going to kind of take a little bit of time and set up a camp as if we were planning on staying in this location for, potentially an extended period of time, maybe a couple of weeks, not forever, but for a few weeks. So you'll see some of the gear that we have in our pack systems. Obviously, we're in my BOV, so I've got the rooftop tent attached to it and the typical loadout in the back. Todd, what'd you bring along for gear?
I brought an OD Green. It's 12 Survivors tent. It's nice and small, easy to conceal, and probably get it up underneath some trees just for aerial cover. Simulating just in case if we needed to. Also have the aerial cover. We have a great position.
So we're going to spend some time getting our camp set up now, and then after we get our camp set up, we'll probably do a little bit more of an extended patrol, just to really get some good overwatch, try to hit some high points, and really kind of survey the country and make sure we're alone out here.